raised in Columbia, South Carolina, and I'm a graduate of the University of South Carolina at Aiken and Columbia College. And a fun fact about me, which I finally started finding one, is that I am the only basketball player in USC Aiken history to have over 1,000 points and over 1,000 rebounds, man or woman.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I hadn't checked that in the last year or two, but it should still be that.
But you know, you have a record for sure.
That's right. You know, I have always felt like in the last, as I've been like recounting my career in politics, like I came to this work as a volunteer. I didn't even know it was a Democratic Party, right? I thought I was going to volunteer with President Obama. But I ended up in the state party office and I was the only party volunteer there. And so I didn't know it was going to be a job. I didn't know it was going to be a career, number one. Like I thought I would by this point be having a really fruitful career in the field of social work, but that didn't happen. And so I've always felt like my steps have been ordered politically because this wasn't my plan for myself. And so when I started thinking about the chairmanship and where we are as a party and just all the things that you started hearing in the last few months ago about the party, and I love our party. Like I believe in it, right? It's not perfect by any stretch, but I've been working inside it for so long. It just really hurt me that that's our perspective, especially in South Carolina. And so I'm stepping up to present myself as a servant leader because I feel like I'm the right person to do this job at this moment, to do the things that we need to do to reestablish ourselves as South Carolina Democrats, to define ourselves as South Carolina Democrats, right? To be better partners, because there are several, we have allies out here in the community that have similarly aligned missions that we're really not working with. We're not taking advantage of, right? We're not really doing a great job partnering with the people that we can partner with. So I just feel like, especially with my recent experience at the DCCC on a national level, I see how it can work. And I see so much more that we can be doing here in South Carolina as Democrats. When I started working at the party, that was the work I was doing. It was really the party building operation. I was really the point of contact for 46 county parties, making sure that they knew what resources were available to them, what the party could do to support their efforts in their county. And so I did that at a staff level. And so in a leadership level, you know, that just I can just amplify what I have been doing. And I've always brought people in and made a place for people, a real space for people. I've showed up in people's lives in a real way. Not just, hey, come volunteer, but hey, here is a paid opportunity for you to, you know, go and get after it. And so I've been a bridge builder and I'm going to continue to do that as state party chair. Fundraising, of course, right? And that just seems like, yeah, we got to raise money. But without the money, it's hard for us to increase our staffing capacity. It's hard for us to do anything. It's hard for us to get our message out. It's hard for us to do the research we need to do in South Carolina, those polls, those focus groups. It just makes us ineffective. So I really want to lean into our fundraising. I want to grow our grassroots fundraising base, where we've got sustainable donors that are donating every month so we know our operational expenses are covered and we can start using our new status as first in the nation to raise money to fund a plan to engage our voters over the long term. What does the people closest to the pain? Everybody's saying now the people who are closest to the pain should be closest to the party, to the power, right? And the decision making. So it's really the people. Like the party is not Columbia. The party is not Richland County. The party is Edgefield County. The party is Allendale. It's all those people. And those are the grassroots people who have been doing this work, sometimes to no avail, year after year, cycle after cycle. Like that's the grassroots. It's the people. Providing guidance, right? Like, so one of the biggest things that I did early in my paid staff career at the party was I created a manual. Might not sound like much, but it was so much incoming from party people, county party people who didn't know what the role was, right? So in that manual, I took every stuff from everywhere, from our rules and bylaws from everywhere, and put it in one manual where there was a role for the precinct officers. Here's what you should be asking your precinct people to do. Like, here is some guidance to provide them so they'll know I'm the precinct president. Here are some three responsibilities that I have, right? And that was really helpful for those county parties who leaned into that manual, because it's not just one person, right? It's a collective effort. Like Richland County has how many precincts? 100 plus. Greenville has 174. There's no way that one person, the chair, can do all that work. So you really have to give direction, and in that same direction, that support on how to do the job. Like, hey, you need to go and get your precinct people registered. You might have somebody who is ready to do that, but so what would be the best first step? And that is guidance that we can provide. We want you to have access to opportunity for growth and development so you can reach your full potential. Like, we're not putting barriers up to your success. Like, that's what I feel like Democrats across the country try to do, like real Democrats, right? Like, you should be able to show up as yourself. As I'm running for chairwoman, I'm showing up as myself, because it's too hard to try to show up as somebody else. I can't show up as, an Ivy League graduate or anything else that I've been around in these spaces. They're great, but I got to show up as Crystal. I'm from North Maine. In my opinion, the role of the party chair is a few things, right? To be that face, to be that spokesperson. And I've worked for 3 chairs, right, throughout my time at the state party off and on. And I've seen them do the role differently. Vic Harpootlian was that spokesperson. He would get on TV and say what he would say it, right? He was the fighter. He's going to say it. He's going to do it. Jamie was a party builder. Like, he believed in trying to build a bench. Let's get these Clapper fellows. We need to have training. Let's, have a community engagement initiative. So those were the differences. And I feel like the role, to answer your question, the role of the party chair is to be a spokesperson. The role of the party chair is to bring resources to bear to go out across the state, right? Like, county parties, Charleston can raise buku money. I was up in Greenville the other night. They had a really nice fundraiser, and they raised a nice chunk of change. That's not the case for every county party. It might not even be that kind of money in the county to raise. So the county party, the chair is that person who's bringing those resources in and disseminating them across the state, as well as, here's our strategy. Here's what we're doing with our partners. And bringing a certain level of transparency. That why. Because some people will just work and don't need to know why. But there are other people who work better if they know, why am I doing this? What are we trying to accomplish here? And so those are just some of the things as I see it. Bernie is not I stepped away from the party. I was the deputy executive director when I went to work for Bernie Sanders. Like, that was me stepping away from the party. And it wasn't because, I hate the party, but I believed in what his message meant to my community as a black woman from the black side of town. Like, you're speaking my language. And so that made me an issues person. Yeah, I'm a party person because I understand what the party is, its purpose, the rules, all of that. And if we want to make changes to that, there's a process. And I think when you have an organization, you got to how do we change it? Because just working with some of these folks of the Don Fowlers, of just these people who've been here forever, you get to learn why things happen, right? Some of the same rules people want to get rid of were put in place to franchise black voters, right? But over time, it's changed, and now it looks like, you're just doing that to keep people out. But when you find the history of things, once we remove that, it's a slippery slope. But absolutely not a party loyalist in that way that I'm just towing the party line. I want to toe the line for people, everyday working class people, because that's who I am. That's who I am right now. So, party loyalist, yes, I'm a Democrat. I vote straight ticket. I'm going to support Democrats first, unless they're, crazy. But that's where that's how I guess that's who I am. Well, I am Christale Spain, and like I said, I am running for South Carolina Democratic Party chair. The convention is on April 29th. I would love your support. Please come out and, convention is for delegates, but it's a public event. I love to see people participating in the process. Even if you're not a delegate, you should come as a guest.